movie review show. As always, I'm your host Daniel with my father and co-host Jerry. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
This time we're doing the 2021 movie The Marksman, starring Liam Neeson. Uh, so I don't see any point in watching this movie whatsoever. Like, unless you really just want to burn 2 hours, because everything it's done's been done a lot better in other movies. There's a lot of dumb stuff in this movie too, and a lot of pointless things, but none of it's like funny bad. It's just kind of like, oh, I've seen this, or oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. Well, it was never fully put together. I mean,
Yeah,
it has a lot of characters that appear once and then disappear.
yeah. Well, there's a
It,
lot of like, there's a lot of things in it that just like serve no point or don't go anywhere. Um, like I think one of the most obvious ones, like, well, obviously he has that the woman that works with the border patrols. That's the daughter of his wife who's dead. That there's no real, and she has. I guess she kind of explains some stuff and has some exposition, but other than that, serves no purpose. Um, but like,
well,
yeah, go ahead.
his dead wife served no purpose. There was nothing. We know that his wife is dead, but we didn't get anything about the story from it. It didn't. You know, it never came into play.
Hmm.
His
Uh,
daughter never came into really play in the movie. You know, I mean, she was out there, but she never played a part in the movie. Never was in any of the action scenes. Never,
yeah,
yeah,
but like, well, I think the thing that like kind of exemplifies that much is like how he gets his he gets his guns taken at one point, and then just goes to a gun store, talks to the guy for a bit, and gets to buy guns from him and just leaves. And
yeah,
he doesn't get any different. He gets the exact same type of guns for the most part.
yeah.
They might be different, but there's a rifle and a handgun. So there's like really like no point in that. And that character never comes up again. It's not it's not a terrible scene or anything, but it's not that great of a scene. Uh, and it's like, and the guy from the gun shop is technically a terrible person because he just sold this guy these guns and didn't have any idea or anything and didn't run a background check because he said, "Oh, I'm in trouble and I can't talk to the law."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, which is a terrible decision. Which is something actually I saw on Brooklyn Nine-Nine that they made fun of. And talked about how bad that was uh, in it. Uh, but like I said, that character never comes back. It never. A lot of the things in this movie are just pointless. Like they have the money and they just burn it.
Yeah,
Um, at the end of the movie, spoilers. I'm, they talk a lot about getting a hot dog in Chicago and never get one. Uh, Liam Nielsen dies at the end of the movie for really no reason. He could have just went to the hospital.
and even the meeting of the kid is nothing special. He comes up to the door and two women greet him.
Yeah, and like, oh hi.
Yeah, we're really
But
glad to see you.
mm-hmm. It's just like there's a ton of stuff in it like that. Like I said, like at least some of the things, like okay, they're tracking him by his credit card, so they show him using his credit card and talking to the people, and the guys are finding him and trying to find out where he's going. That's fine. Like those scenes are fine because it shows how our villains are pursuing him and everything. But when you get to some of the other stuff, like I still haven't figured out how they tracked him to the motel
Yeah.
because he like parked and he hit his car. Or were they just like going to random motels and hit the right one, or killing people that owned the motels down the way from where that is? Like I said, the cop he runs into a crooked, gets pulled over by a crooked cop at one point. Uh, that I feel like he figures out too easily is crooked. Uh, and the cop takes his gun. And he just gets him back from the gun shop without any real problems, or a different gun. It's also for a movie called The Marksman. He does very little marksmanship.
Yeah, not until the end.
Yeah,
He shoots two people at the end.
yeah, he shoots two people. He snipes two people at the end, and he shoots like coyote or something at the beginning. And that's the only like I guess he shoots the one time the one guy through the fence, but it's more he's just rapidly firing than trying to hit
Yeah.
anybody. He's just more shooting for cover.
Yeah, I mean, if he had shot and picked off two or three of them through the fence, you'd have thought something of it.
Yeah,
And
but
they
I
could
mean,
have done that. They could have had more people pull up.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, he was just kind of blind firing so he could hide behind his truck and give himself some cover.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, and that's fine. Like I think that like relatively works. Like he accidentally he kills. He's not really trying, but he kills one of the guys. So now they're after him also.
Yeah.
But like I said, they burn down his house, which doesn't matter. Um, it talks about like how he's losing his property, and yeah, okay, that motivates him to like run with the kid because the mother has a whole bunch of money that's cartel money. But at the end of it, they just burned the money,
Yeah.
which I get, like not wanting it because it's blood money, but like give it to a charity or something. And it's too much money for them to just do that.
Yeah. And, the kid or him could use the money greatly.
Yeah, and like even if like they absolutely didn't give it to a charity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
like there's plenty of movies I know where the people don't want to take the money, but they usually give it away. Or if they get rid of the money, it's not that much money, or it's a spur of the moment thing, or something like that. They burn it or do it. But in this one, it isn't. It's not a spur of the moment thing. Um, it's not like it doesn't give them any really advantage. It's just we're burning this money because it's blood money, and neither one of us want it now for some reason. Like, I mean, it just didn't like make any real sense. And like the thing is, actually, like in this movie, the kid I think does a pretty good job. I didn't really have any problems with the child actor, or any of the acting in this movie in particular. But throughout the whole movie, I'm like, well, this movie, like I kept thinking movies like Logan, and stuff like that. Searchers even to a certain extent that just tell this same story are kind of neo westerns and do it just so much better. Um, I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that, or?
no, the as you said, the movie was. I mean, Len, Neiman Nielsen does a reasonably good job. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as acting, but there's nothing here.
Yeah.
And another thing I'd like to point out is this is the second movie of the COVID during the COVID that has been released uh, with Lem Nielsen in for the Open Road. His last one was back in October, which was released called The Honest Thief, and it's sort of the same story.
Yeah.
Well, Lem Nielsen does a good job, but The Honest Thief has a terrible uh, it got 40% on
Yeah.
Rotten Tomato. This one got 34.
Yeah.
So this one has even a more terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they said the story was just
Mm-hmm.
devoid.
Well, like the problem, like with first off with this one, it needed more action scenes. It needed something, and they work really hard to make no political statement whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have the evil cartel. You don't go into why it is that. They avoid like anything like really like obviously he's a rancher and stuff, and he calls border patrol when he sees some of them. They kind of don't go into the like morality of that. He obviously calls it the one time to save the guy, which makes sense and stuff because he needed to get him out of there. But uh, a number of the things like they just kind of like they talk to him and they're like, well, first off uh, I guess they do like mention at one point like in this administration he still might not get granted amnesty and how they're going to toss him in the back. But
Yeah.
that doesn't feel like they're condemning it or making a statement for it. It just feels like, oh, that's what happened,
Yeah.
which probably shouldn't do. And portraying ICE right now in general is kind of iffy. Um, like objectively, they had a huge amount of racists in that group and stuff. Um, the one Facebook group or whatever.
Yeah.
They've had like, and they didn't seem to really acknowledge that or like. You can't make the movie at this time frame and put it in this time frame and not acknowledge some of this stuff for the most part. It takes it just that much more out of reality.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying it had to do it that much, but like if you would have just cut out some of the scenes, like like I said, his daughter's, about him calling it, or uh, have him be against the immigration until the end, or something. Like you could do a lot more with it than they did, and because of that, it makes it a worse movie. That they had all this stuff there that they could do about it or say about it.
Well,
Like
it even seemed like they had the daughter call up.
mhm,
Uh, at one point, I think the guy even told the daughter to go and get her father.
yeah,
And you thought that something was going to happen there, that she was going to go and she was going to get involved in the thing, but nothing. I mean, she just
yeah,
sort of came in. He talked to her twice, and nothing else.
yeah. I honestly wonder if this movie was more political and they just kind of cut that stuff out or changed it. Just because there's like I said, there's a lot like I said, there's somewhat stuff there. Like they mention at once, like, oh, in this administration, even though the cartel murdered his mother and are clearly chasing after kill him, he still might not get granted amnesty or be able to stay in the
Yeah.
country, or like how like even after they shot his mother, uh, and they even shot at the guy, he still might not be able to get like protection in the United States or whatever. Um,
Well, the whole story started sort of crazily. He comes back, he takes them in,
mhm.
and gives them to the border patrol, and learns that he's going to be sent back to Mexico, and then realizes that the cartel's at the border.
Yeah, and he's
Uh,
gonna come in and kill him.
yeah, and then he takes him out, and
Mhm.
it's sort of somewhat nutty.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like it didn't need that part in it. It could like even have like him going there talking to them, like he's gonna drop him off, and then realize like the kid's not gonna get amnesty or protection.
Yeah. Or it
Uh,
could have just had that he got back in the car, saw the money there,
yeah,
and decided he better take him back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Of course,
like
he
I
could
said,
have rode off with the money. I mean,
yeah, and like he had the promise to his mom that's somewhat motivating him. Who the mother comes over with him, and then but she gets
yeah,
shot, and the gunfire that ensues. But like you could have like easily like had it like him talking to them and gonna drop him off there, but because he thinks it's the right thing to do, they're gonna take him to his aunt or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and then them essentially telling him they're not gonna do it, and
yeah,
then him doing something and taking the kid out
yeah.
of there or something that shows like that shows him not like angry about it or something, that like he did it because he was gonna protect the because he thought he was doing the right thing, but they're gonna screw the kid over or something, but like you didn't have to have him do that, drive back, pick him up. uh, I mean,
Yeah.
they have a like they have a number of things like I actually did like the scene of like the cartel coming over because I thought like how they like they handed them the passports that are passports for two completely different people,
Yeah.
but they were still showing like doing the rituals and stuff, even though the border patrol agents were paid off or bribed,
Yeah.
which I thought that was actually kind of clever and stuff. So they didn't draw suspicion or anything.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I like the idea that they were tracking him through his credit card, and that's how they were able to follow him.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a bad idea or anything. Um, I don't know how they, because at that point he kind of realizes they might be tracking him through his credit card and pays in cash.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they found him at the hotel. I don't know. Uh, like I said, I don't know how they found. they they have people stationed at all the entrances in Chicago apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say, yeah, there's probably a few main ones, but he's probably going to be doing back roads, and he happens to notice them and stuff. He's probably going to be doing main roads anyway,
Yeah.
uh, back roads at that point anyway to avoid it. But I mean, uh, like I said, it's an action movie called The Marksman. He snipes 4 times in the movie, I think.
Mhm.
Uh, wants to kill the coyote at the beginning. At the end, to flip over a car. No, he made 5 times to shoot the guy in the car and then to flip it over. Which that was an absurd flip. For
Yeah.
just shooting out a tire. Like I'm usually wouldn't mind something like that, but that was like it didn't scutter off the road and flip. It just flipped.
Yeah.
Like it did a complete 180 after he shot the tire rather than just scuttering off the road. But and then he shoots like 1 or 2 of the guys when he's hiding in the barn, and that's it. And this movie's called The Marksman, and it makes a big deal about his it makes a few big deals about oh he was an ex-Marine, I think it was, or Navy SEAL, I don't remember which. He has a few medals, but he doesn't even do it.
He has a Bronze Star.
He has a Bronze Star. That's what it was.
It's a major medal. Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't do any sniping really.
Yeah. Mhm.
And like I said, I mean, and obviously the big problem of him dying at the end, which it's not like he had to get the kid there immediately. There's no reason he couldn't have just stopped at the hospital.
No.
Because I mean, he had the rune for a while. They were walking down the thing. Somebody picked them up. Yeah, it's only. Well, I guess it's. What was it, 1 gunshot wound that probably clipped him, and then being stabbed a few times.
Yeah.
In the side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that was very he's probably dying because of blood loss.
Yeah.
So it's something that would be very easily taken care of at a hospital. Mm-hmm. And at that point, they'd eliminate all the people.
Yeah.
So his death was completely pointless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Because most of them, I mean, as we said, there's a lot of things, the mother got shot and died. The death didn't really have any effect on the movie. Which you have a kid along, it should have had some effect, and they should have went back to that at some point. And the mother didn't need to die on that thing. I mean, she could have been one of the things that they were taking along and made the movie a little bit more scarier when they went after her too.
Well, what they could have done is had them get out, and him drop off both him and the mother or something, and then have them maybe even go to deport them again or something.
Yeah.
Or something or have the cartel attack or that or him learn that they're going to just send him back and then try to get him out, and and the mother doing something so the kid gets out.
Yeah.
Or something that and then she gets deported and killed or something. Something that you could do it felt like they could have handled if they were going to kill her, they should have handled it a bit better.
Yeah.
But I'm not even because of all the other stuff that just goes absolutely nowhere. The daughter, the fact he's losing his land motivates him, but his wife being dead he doesn't really show anything he cared about her. It's life's unfair, that's it.
Yeah.
The hot dog.
Yeah.
The fact he loses his guns and just gets them back.
Yeah.
It's not like he has to steal them anything. He has plenty of money from that. The money doesn't really serve any purpose at the end except to burn it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want the blood money. But it's one of those things where there's way too much money for that.
Yeah.
And, you'd at least give it away or something. You might burn some of it symbolically, but give it away.
Yeah. It was, it wasn't one of the, it wasn't one of Lem Nielsen's best.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem with it was it also it just wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't that good of a movie, but fun, but it wasn't fun. Like I said, he only really confronts the bad guys twice. There's, I guess, 3 action scenes if you count his fight with the cop. That's very brief.
Yeah. We didn't really fight with the cop. The cops would have.
Yeah. They get him, and then they shoot the cop, and
Yeah.
Well, but it's one of the things that also, like, with what they're doing, like, people are gonna know they're around law enforcement because, like I said, you'd say, oh, they bribed him, but yeah, like, they probably killed a girl at the gas station. They killed a night clerk or whatever from the hotel, and they killed the cop, who
Yeah.
admittedly was a dirty cop. But people are going to notice that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're not going to have like that stuff investigated. I mean, you're going to notice a missing police officer pretty quickly. Uh, and I mean, a lot of it all happens off screen, or it's PG-13, so it can't get really nasty.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm actually wondering if like parts of this movie were cut or whatnot, or
Mhm.
um, but like, uh huh. But I mean, I just can't really recommend this in any way, shape, or form because at the end, I just didn't have any fun with anything in it.
No.
Uh, like I've made fun of it a bit, but um, like if you talk about multiple times about like how Chicago has the best hot dogs. We go to Chicago. He's dropping off the kid, and there's a hot dog guy there, and both of the people just don't get hot dogs at least.
Yeah.
But and I realized like, oh, he's dying at that point. I'm like, yeah, he could have went to the hospital. That money they burned could have been used to pay his hospital bills.
Yeah.
uh, but like, I don't know, like, just it felt like it hit certain beats of the story because that's what it said it had to hit. Because
Yeah.
that's whatever they like him dying is. It said, oh, he has to die at the end.
Yeah.
Or him having a dead wife or lost something, it has to be there. Him
Mhm.
having some other person in his life that kind of takes care of him, it has to be there.
Yeah.
Um, and it's fine to hit those beats, but it only seems to hit those because it says it's necessary to hit those, not because the story goes there.
Yeah. Well, that was another one of the other things is his daughter does come over to take care of him at
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie, and it sort of was. You sort of thought it had something to do with alcoholism,
Hmm.
and but then nothing happens on that issue either.
Yeah, they show him to be a pretty hard drinker
Yeah, well, he
a few
did
times.
drink the whole way through the movie, but it
Yeah.
never played up the alcoholism.
Yeah, well, like they have that one part where he's in the bar and he just leaves the bar and is asleep in his car.
Yeah,
Um,
and but there was nothing really on alcoholism or,
yeah.
that was one of the things that could have happened. And the trip, he realized that, he had to eliminate his alcoholism.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I said, it seemed like it had a whole bunch of. It never seems like it was really. It had a whole bunch of things it set up, and just none of them came to be.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, the dog's only in the movie so it could die.
yeah.
Um, because of course it had to happen.
And dog didn't get to do anything.
Dog didn't get to
He-
do anything really.
I guess he did attack the person at one time.
Oh, I guess he attacked the cop.
Right.
Yeah, but the dog died just to kill the dog. There was
Yeah.
no point in it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Uh, and I don't know why. I guess no, the dog. I guess the dog might have been there when there was when they were shooting it out, but the dog wouldn't have recognized that guy
Well, the
and just start barking at him randomly.
he came back for the dog,
Hmm.
and then the dog got shot.
Yeah, because
And
it had to. We had to. And they didn't need to like make the villain nasty or anything. He's already killed a number of people.
yeah.
Uh, he tried to like. They tried to say something like how the kid wanted to kill the people that killed his mother and then didn't, but that really. I guess he doesn't kill the guy at the end, but it doesn't really get explained or into detail. It's just kind of there to be there.
Yeah.
Doesn't make the story any better. Um, like I said, uh, it feels very much like they took a very standard story. They just made sure the beats happened for that reason,
Yeah.
but forgot to pay off some of them
Yeah.
and try to avoid all controversy
Yeah.
or anything remotely political. Which, if your movie's involving immigration to illegal immigration to a certain degree,
Yeah.
has border patrol in it, you can't make it non-political.
Yeah.
Re, if it's been released in the past 5 or 6 years, period. You have to say something about it. And I guess, like I said, they might say a little bit about it, but it's very, very mild, and they go into it. Mhm. Like I said, they're like, oh, the people that cross his land do run a lot of drugs and guns, so it's okay he calls them on it, and because they're not the good people, and or just people looking for jobs, and blah 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 blah. It tries to have things both ways, so it's completely, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. One, it makes it seem like you don't have any teeth, and two, like it's that thing that when you don't take any sides, you're still taking a side. When you can't say, "Oh, I'm trying to be non-political because everything's political."
Yeah.
Um, and that's what it felt like it was trying to do. Uh, and the movie is much worse for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I said, again, maybe if you cut 20 some minutes from this movie and all the stuff that, it might be a slightly better movie. I don't think it would still be very good,
Yeah.
but like if you would have thrown in some sniping scenes or anything,
Yeah.
or something.
Something to show that he was really a marksman.
Yeah, well, have him that he was really a marksman. I mean, the
Yeah.
action scenes themselves aren't bad, but they're not very good or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like you can tell what's happening in them, which is more than I can say about a lot of action movies. Uh, and not in the way that it's supposed to be chaotic, in the way of like I just can't tell what's happening.
Yeah.
But they're nothing like spectacular or worth going to go see the movie for.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you make an action movie and just have good action, 9 times out of 10 the movie's worth seeing.
Yeah.
Unless the in between parts are so horrendous that you can't get through them. But it doesn't even have that, so I don't recommend this movie in any way, shape, or form. You can go see better, like just watch Logan.
Yeah.
Very similar movie, good action scenes, better characters, plot makes sense, has payoff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are your feelings on this?
Those are my feelings. I mean, it was just a
Uh-huh.
sort of blah movie that you sort of think that when you walked out the door, well, you wasted a couple hours.
Yeah,
It
like
wasn't entertaining in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, it's one of those things that, like, it wasn't necessarily that bad or anything, but that makes it even less interesting, I think, when you get
Yeah.
movies like this.
Yeah.
Because at least there's bad and interesting things about them.
Yeah.
Like other than the fact that like had all these plot points that went nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't like funny things. Like the most famous one of all time is The Room, in which the mother tells the daughter she has cancer, and then the daughter immediately starts talking about herself, and then it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
Like that's funny and fascinating. This isn't. Uh, um, so yeah, don't go see this. I don't know what's else. Like, again, go see Croods over this if you want to see a movie. Like I said, there's a lot of problems with that one, but at least it was funny,
Yeah.
and at least it was entertaining and fascinating in the stuff that was bad with it. Um, I don't know what else is out. Like even Wonder Woman was fascinating in how it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd recommend that over this, because at least that, like, there was stuff that was fascinating
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't have anything else to say on it. We actually talked a lot more about it than I thought we would.
Yes.
Do you have anything more?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, in that case, thank you for listening. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, and bye.